NetCC Standard 2 Teaching, Learning, and Assessments. Technology coaches assist teachers in using technology effectively for assessing student learning, differentiating instruction, and providing rigorous, relevant, and engaging learning experiences for all students. I believe this probably was my favorite standard. It was touched on in a few different classes, but the two big assignments that I created in a couple of these classes, excuse me, the modules that I created for the distance learning classes, I had a lot of fun producing those. In fact, even though I'm not doing distance learning yet, I'm using those on my students this semester. And so I'm really excited about being able to put into action what I actually created. So let's get into that. One of the things that in one of the first classes that I took, we did a unit plan that was all online in INST 6213. And in this one, I was meeting requirements that I have for my students to create their own business. I teach culinary arts, and one of the competitions that we do involves the students planning their food service business from start to finish and then presenting it to judges in the state competition. And so that's what I used as my basis for doing this particular assignment for this class. And so throughout the class, we took different sections of what a good learning module would look like and created part of that. And so we built on that throughout the semester. And so what we ended up coming up with was this unit plan that looks at what students know beforehand and where they need to go, developing the assessments, and then the actual instructional procedures that go through and creating those modules. And so all those modules were created for my students and all the different critical aspects of their food service business. So brainstorming about what different types of food service businesses that there are, whether it's standalone restaurants, in a mall, food trucks are a big thing that we looked at. The kitchen brigades, that's how the things are set up, what kind of different duty stations are there going to be. They had to decide, okay, if this is the type of menu I'm going to have, I need this kind of staffing. So they work through that. They work through doing their own floor plan and decor. How is it going to be decorated and set up even in the dining area? And then choosing that staffing. They had to do their own costing, which means that they had to figure out the price that the food cost them and then how much they were going to serve it for so they could make a profit and actually stay in business. Then they had to figure out how to learn how to market their food service business. Then they would also receive some critical thinking scenarios, such thing as you come in and one day and your plumbing is all messed up. What do you do? So some real life type things that they had to work through. And then they put it all together in a presentation. And one group gets to go to the state competition. So we have a local competition and have judges judge that. And then the winner of that goes on to the state competition. So that is a lot of fun. And we did that one. We also did one for 6243. I'll go ahead and show you that one right now. That one I have up on my Canvas because my bakery and pastry art students actually are going to be doing this one in a few weeks. But again, it was the same kind of thing. It was an online instructional program, whether it's for distance learning students, access students, which is what I think that I'll be looking at down the road and helping students around the state who do not have family consumer science or culinary classes in their school, and they could still participate and learn about the culinary career. So this one happens to be, he doesn't like chocolate, so I chose chocolate to do it on, but it shows they work through the history of chocolate. They do chocolate taste testing. They learn the sustainable farming that goes in to that. So it brings in some environmental science and that kind of thing as well. So it's cross-curricular. Again, there's some quizzes that are embedded in there. They create infographics. They create menus. They watch videos on how to temper chocolate, and then they do that themselves. For the students that are actually in my classroom, they do it actually in our lab. For students that I may potentially have down the line, they will be videotaping theirs and then importing the video so I can see how they did what they did. They're going to be creating blogs, so you can see that they're doing using technology themselves in many different ways. And so that is that particular module. So that was a lot of the ways that I met standards for this. And go back up here. Differentiation was also part of it. And so in INST 6213, we did a little self-diagnostic on how we differentiated our classes. And so we had to kind of go through and self-assess to see that, make sure that we were making accommodations for students and giving them different ways that they could differentiate their assignments and give them some choices. Okay, and then right now I am actually in the class right now where we're doing educational psychology and working on my science of education paper right now. So at this point, the only thing that I have are some of the reflections. One thing that I would think about or suggest to students in the future that might be taking this is in my last semester. I almost wish I would have taken it earlier, because some of the things that we're studying in that class would have helped in compiling like some of the modules that I was just showing you. But that is NETC C Standard 2.